Are we live?
Are we live?
Now we're live.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us live with Lunch with Lombardi. I'm seeing that we're on live on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, but we're not actually eating lunch.
But we're not actually eating lunch, but we do have
lunchtime.
Student Campus Live
Lunchtime.
cups. We're really excited. This is the first time that we're doing this.
This is. Yes.
So we're really excited to have an opportunity to talk about some questions that students have offered earlier this week.
Absolutely.
But to start off, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm fantastic. We just wrapped up fall break. Unfortunately, it's raining today. It's going to get chilly tomorrow, but otherwise doing good. Things are well. How are you?
Doing really well. Maybe we should start with introductions.
Sure.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Ryan Lombardi, Vice President for Student and Campus Life here at Cornell. Best job on campus without question. Love being able to support students on this campus every day.
Hi everyone, my name is Dustin. I'm a senior in the ILR school, and I'm really excited to start with our very first question, which is, do we have a vegan club on campus?
We sure do. It's called the Cornell Vegan Society. It's a registered student organization. I know they'd welcome new members, so whoever asked this question, you can go to the campus activities website, check it out, get more information, figure out who their officers are, and reach out to them. I'd highly encourage it.
That's awesome. So talking about clubs and organizations on campus, maybe you can give a little more insight to some of the freshmen or prospective students watching about things that they can get involved with on campus.
Yeah, we have a lot of different opportunities on campus, and especially for relatively new students, I would highly encourage involvement. I'll temper that, though, to say don't overdo it. Pick one or two things that you really want to dig deeply into. Don't try to, jump right in where you left off senior year of high school and do 10 or 12 things, because you got to get your academic footing, etc. So again, go to the campus activities website, check it out. Lots of different clubs, organizations, ways to get involved. And don't think you have to stick with the same thing. You can change your mind. You adjust, I assume. You experience this as a student. Something else catches your interest or that you think would be fun, check it out. Go reach out to folks. Most clubs and organizations, I think, are always glad to have new members. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
I know that when I first came to campus, I had a tough time adjusting with academics and managing a lot of extracurriculars, but I was able to find a lot of support on campus based on the resources that are here. And I think that leads into the second question, which are, what types of mental health resources are there available to students on campus?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question. This is a topic that's near and dear to me personally, and in fact, incidentally, Mental Health Awareness Week is just about to kick off tomorrow.
Good plug.
So really excited about that.
Mental Health Awareness Week.
Got to plug. Lots of great student groups to support mental health. Cornell Minds Matters, EARS, some really outstanding student organizations and student-led initiatives, but also a lot of Cornell resources there as well that I want to make sure people are aware of. We have a great resource in Cornell Health and Counseling and Psychological Services, where we have therapy available, also brief walk-ins, these types of things. I want to say one thing, though, on this topic. I mean, it's something I think, again, about a whole lot, and we've had a lot of conversation about. I think the best thing we can do on this campus is really think about how we support each other as students, as staff, as faculty, and how we come together and use the human spirit here to lift each other up and try to support. It's tough. I mean, going through the Cornell process is hard. We all have our ups and downs, whether we're students or staff. And the best thing we can do is lift each other up. I know that I've needed that many times in my life and in this role, and I would assume the same is true for you. And so while we have great resources and clinical resources and programmatic and outreach, I think at a very fundamental level, we also really need to stay focused on that. I don't know what you think about that, Dustin.
Yeah, something that I want to highlight is that we definitely have places where you can go to if you need support. I know that when I was a freshman, I really liked going to my RA because that was an accessible peer who understood the transitions to Cornell and some of the challenges that I was going through. But definitely highlighting these opportunities on campus to get involved, like Cornell Minds Matter, and finding a community on campus definitely can help. So
makes a difference.
I'm curious.
Well, I want to say one other thing on this, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, just, I want to make really clear, because if you do need clinical support, if you do need help, you can walk into Cornell Health anytime during their hours. They're open late in the evening, Monday through Thursday. They're open on Sunday. Walk in anytime without an appointment, and we will get you in to see someone if you're in an urgent situation. So please make sure to be aware of that. We definitely want to be there to support you.
And I'm hoping you can maybe call out our Let's Talk program through
Yes,
Health.
yeah. So this is a great program where therapists will go to different locations on campus and host informal an opportunity to pop in and talk with someone, kind of have an initial conversation. Really encourage that as well. It's a little perhaps easier to access that, just because if you don't have to come over to Cornell Health, if that's something that's new for you or you're unsure about that, that can be really helpful as well.
Yeah. And those are all resources that can be found on Cornell Health's website.
Yep, absolutely.
And they'll definitely be distributed during Mental Health Awareness Week,
absolutely.
So be on the lookout for that. So I'm wondering, how do you like to de-stress, Ryan? You have a pretty stressful position. I know that a lot of students ask you for help with their student organizations and their student experience. How do you de-stress?
Well, I'm not always the best model of this, but I do try very hard to live a fully integrated life. I spend a lot of time with my family. Whenever I have downtime, I have fairly young kids, and so spending time with them, playing games, going to their sporting events, those types of things are really the way I recenter myself. And certainly with my partner as well. Shout out to Carol Lombardi for all those ILRs out there. Being able to spend time with her and the family is really, for me, the number one way to do that. I do travel a good bit for my job too, and I find some solace in that. Alone time, quiet time on airplanes and in airports, as odd as that might sound. It's a change of pace from the routine, and so I do enjoy that quite a bit as well. How about you?
I really like to just sit down with my Netflix account and binge watch like entire series with my friends, and that's what we've been doing the past week. Fall break was a great time to do that.
Any particular series that you'd recommend for? I'm a little bit of an amateur in the Netflix
space.
But yeah, I have tapped into a few series. Yeah.
Are we allowed to drop a series name right now? Is that a copyright
we
thing?
might be violating some kind of... Maybe we should move on to
DM me if you want, if you want any suggestions or recommendations, right. Ryan will have my list too.
We'll get hit up by
a good group of people, right? Okay. I'm wondering, just going off of that, what advice do you have for students who are having a little bit trouble balancing or feeling as though they need to stay up late to finish academic commitments or things of that nature?
Yeah, I would encourage folks, first of all, to make those connections with your faculty, reach out, ask for support if you need extensions, those types of things. And also, this is a very general piece of advice, a little less specific than what you asked. Keep in mind that this is not a sprint. There is a long semester, there's a long educational experience here, and to take your time making your way through that. It often feels, and I feel this way in my life too, that everything is urgent. And I get that. There are real deadlines, your syllabus, I totally understand that, but again, interacting with faculty so that you can understand if there's any flexibility there, I'd highly encourage. Absolutely. And not putting too much pressure on yourself to feel like everything has to be urgent.
Great. So, maybe we can move on to our next topic,
Sure.
which is actually from a prospective student. They asked, if I contact alumni, how could they potentially help me with admission? So, I'm curious what thoughts you have on that.
Could they help you with admission? So I'm going to assume this question is really framed around, could they help you with your own admissions decision about Cornell? Yeah. They would absolutely. Our Cornell alumni, love this place. They had an incredible experience here, and everyone that I've interacted with would do just about anything to support the institution, or a person who's at the institution or wants to come to the institution. So I would highly encourage people to engage with alumni, to ask them about the experience, to get advice on their own pathway and how that worked out for them, and and reach out to them for that. Likewise, reach out to current students. No better ambassadors for the Cornell experience in a very real way than those students who are experiencing it today, which may even be in some cases more genuine than the alumni, because the institution changes over time. So what you're experiencing right now is different than someone who graduated 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 50 years ago.
Absolutely.
And so reaching out to current students as well for that process.
Yeah.
Did you connect with anybody before you applied to Cornell?
Yeah.
Did you?
I visited Cornell a day after I got a pamphlet in the mail about the ILR school. I fell in love with it. I visited, and I came and visited my friends who were here from my high school.
Oh, so you knew some people that
were already here.
So you were able to get that advice and ask them what was going on. Okay.
And then during my admissions process, I had a chance to participate in an alumni interview. Okay. And I'm still in touch with my alumni interviewer today.
Okay. So would you recommend that process as well, participating in the alumni interview?
Yeah, if you're offered an opportunity to meet an alum, it gives you such a different perspective on the Cornell experience. And you you realize what it means to be a Cornellian when you see someone who's willing to commit that time to a prospective student.
I've done some events for prospective students in the past. In fact, when I was down in Long Island, was it in the summer I was down there? Yeah. Your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, my neck of the woods.
That's right. There were a number of prospective, or actually they had already been admitted. They knew they were coming, but they were so excited to get here, and we were able to answer a lot of questions. Alumni were there that were answering questions. It was really neat to see. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right.
Cool. Let's move on to the next
Sounds
question.
good.
Can you discuss the opening of the Straight Edge happening on the 17th?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this, and huge shout out to a number of students who really mobilized behind this effort. What this is referring to, the Straight Edge, for those of you who aren't aware, in Willard Straight Hall, the student union, one of the oldest in the country, just off the back patio, or off the back there, off the memorial room, there's a beautiful patio. And on a nice day, there's no better place to be on campus. So the Student Assembly Infrastructure Fund funded some new furnishings to go out on the Straight Edge. They're already there, but the grand opening ceremony will be on the 17th. Unfortunately, I'll be traveling at that time, so I don't get to go there myself, but go out, enjoy the furniture. And I'd also make mention that Cornell Dining just opened a brand new food venue just as you exit to go out.
Another good plug.
Patio, straight from the market. Another good plug. Thank you. My Cornell Dining folks will appreciate that. They've been doing a soft opening all week, sampling food. Really recommend that as well. But again, the Straight Edge is going to be spectacular and really help enhance student life on this campus. The student union really should feel like the living room of campus, ideally. And granted, as I was proud about how old our student union is, it sometimes feels old. It is. It's approaching its 100-year anniversary in just a few years. But this new furnishings and the new setup outside will really make a difference for our students. And we need to enjoy it before winter comes, too,
Absolutely.
right? Because then it's going to be a little difficult to get out there. And
right. And I think I really appreciate you calling out that it really was the work of students working together with administrators to make this possible. And they really reactivated that space.
On that note, I find I get to work with a lot of students, as you know. And more often than not, there is a lot of alignment over the things that we want to get down on this campus between students and administration. I know sometimes it doesn't always feel that way, or if you're not highly engaged in that, you may question whether that's the case. But I would say unquestionably, the vast majority of times we do have a lot of alignment. We may disagree on how to get there, how the right way to do it is, but very much appreciate those types of initiatives.
Absolutely.
And coming to great solutions like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So as we come to a close with our questions for today, I'm wondering if you can give any last bits of advice. We're at the middle of the semester now. It's October. You said, winter is coming.
Fall is coming
Fall
first.
Fall is coming. Winter is coming.
Fall's coming tomorrow, by the way.
Really?
For those of you who didn't get the memo, tomorrow you're going to need a coat in the morning.
Right.
That's right.
Fall is coming.
I watch these things.
Really?
When you get old like me, you watch the weather.
God, waking up and
changing. Watch the weather, look at your weather app, all this kind of stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any last bits of advice?
Other than have your coat on tomorrow morning before you leave your apartment or you leave your room. No, it is mid-semester. We're kind of essentially at the halfway point. We had fall break. Take care of yourself would be number one. Make sure you're getting the rest. These are pretty simple things, but they make such a huge difference. Get enough sleep at night. Make sure you're eating well. You're exercising. You're doing all the normal things to take care of your body. Because there's a lot of school left. There's going to be a lot of work that starts to load up and pile up. Lean on those around you. To my point before, spend time with the people that lift you up and that give you nourishment, give your soul nourishment. Spend time with them, and know that you're not alone as you go through the rest of the semester. Lean on those people around you. Lean on the resources we have at Cornell. And enjoy it. This is a really special time in your life when you're at a wonderful institution like this. Try to make sure you can stop and enjoy some of the moments too, and not just be focused on getting the next thing done or getting to the next meeting or getting to the next class. Just enjoy a little bit of the space too. Fall is a very beautiful time.
Absolutely.
Look out over the lake and see the leaves changing, all these types of things if that's a possibility for you, and just try to appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And really making the most of your time at Cornell, right? Building that community. I know this month is filled with activities, Mental Health Awareness Week. Today is National Coming Out Day. A lot of different events on campus. So I know Ryan and I are both really looking forward to seeing you all at these events, meeting you at these events, and hopefully seeing you at our next Lunchtime with Lombardi.
I think we're going to do this again at some point. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this, come back and watch us again.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Have a good day.